Hi, I'm April. I am a singer-songwriter and music teacher, and today we're going to talk about what to do if you have a really annoying song stuck in your head. Getting a song stuck in your head is the most annoying feeling in the whole world, and I know that personally, I have a really hard time sleeping when I have a song stuck in my head, so I thought that today we would just tackle what to do when you get a song stuck in your head and kind of why those songs are getting stuck in your head to begin with. And while you're trying to get that song out of your head, you might as well go listen to my new single, 'cause maybe it'll help. I don't know. Shameless plugs aside, how do we actually go about getting these annoying songs out of our head? So first thing you might notice is that it's never the full song. You never get like an entire song stuck in your head. It's always just like a tiny little bit of it, and it just repeats and repeats and repeats and gets really, really annoying. So usually when this happens and you get a song stuck in your head, but it's only like a tiny little bit of it, it's because your brain just can't move past it. You've got this section that keeps kind of going because you have no way to resolve it. So what you're gonna do is actually sit down and listen to the full song. And I know you hate hearing that because chances are if this song is stuck in your head and it's annoying you, you probably can't stand this song. But if you actually take the time to go and sit down, get comfortable, and listen to the entire song, you're gonna know more of the song than just that one tiny little piece of it. Which means, crucially, you will know how it ends. Endings are the most important thing when you get a song stuck in your head, because if you can end the song, you can end it being in your head constantly. Your brain won't have to keep filling in the blanks by putting it on repeat. It'll know how the song ends, and you'll be able to walk away and be free. So find that part that has been looping through your brain and making you crazy, and then listen really intently to what comes after it. Start to get really familiar with it. Even memorize it if you can. Once you feel like you've listened to it and you know what happens next, and you generally have a good sense of the song itself, pay special attention to the ending of the song. Chances are, while this song has been stuck in your head and you've been trying actively to avoid it, or leave the room whenever it comes on, or shut off the radio, or just get away from it in every way possible, you've been ignoring the way it actually ends. And because you don't know how it ends, it's just going in an eternal loop around your brain. So you're gonna listen to the way the song ends, and then your brain will have a stopping point. It feels really counterintuitive to have to listen to a song that you want to get rid of, but when you have that song stuck in your head, your brain is trying to work with very little information to try to put back the pieces. So by listening to the way it ends and learning the song really well, you're giving your brain the rest of that information. You're filling in all of the gaps, which means that your brain is going to thank you by letting you move on and go on to more important things like getting a decent night of sleep. Now, if the song that's stuck in your head happens to be one of the worst things a musician has ever created, which is, of course, the never-ending, repeating forever song, I apologize. I'm sure that your kids will apologize in a few years. But I promise you, there is a way around this, and that way is called the cadence. And a cadence is basically how you end your song. For instance, one of the most popular cadences is the 2-5-1 progression, which goes like this. Now, the nice thing about the 2-5-1 progression is that it feels like an ending. Something to keep in mind is that most songs start and end on what is called the 1 chord, or in the key of C, that would be a C chord. So whatever key we're in, the name of that key is going to be the chord that we're starting and ending on. This is like most of the time. It's not always the case, but those are the exceptions and not the rules. In the song that never ends, we actually do use that cadence, that 2-5-1. But what's really clever about it, and the thing that makes this person an evil criminal mastermind, is that it uses this cadence in order to kind of go in a circle. When we play that 2-5-1 progression, the 1 is supposed to be the thing that wraps it up. But since the song also starts on 1, we're able to use that C as a hinge point. It basically leads us from being the last chord into being the first chord again, just by way of using a melody that feels like a beginning rather than an ending. So the way that the song that never ends goes, and I so apologize for inflicting this on you. C, G. Now in this case, right, that is our 1 chord going to our 5. And the G is that chord that feels like it really, really, really wants to go home. So when we hear that G chord, it naturally pulls us back to the 1. So as we're playing the song, we're playing 1, 5, then we linger on 5 for a little while, then we go back to 1. Then we get this part that actually is where our cadence comes in. So we're starting on 1. Some people started singing it. Then we go to our 2 minor, not knowing what it was. Then we get our 5, so we've just played 2, 5. They'll continue singing it forever just because. And then we go back to our 1. But it doesn't feel like an ending, because ending on a B and then going up to C feels like we're going towards something. We're kind of going up the scale to get to something. Our brains are conditioned to hear this as a beginning rather than an ending. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. So when we hear that at the end of a song, it naturally loops us right back in. The other thing that makes this really feel like it wants to repeat is just the fact that the lyrics end on the word because. So when you hear this word because, our brains don't want to understand that as being the end of a sentence. Because feels like it's going to be the middle of a sentence. It feels like it's going to lead into something else. That's just how we were taught to speak English. So all of those things in combination, hearing 2, 5, ba-da-da, and then hearing that word because, make us feel like it's not done, like something else needs to happen. This song really could just go on indefinitely and just be the worst thing that ever happened to you. But the way that we're gonna handle it is basically just by making up our own ending. This is the song that never ends, blah, 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 blah. Some people started singing it not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it, or they won't. So yeah, just make up your own ending and make sure that it ends on that beautiful tonic, on that C chord, on that ending. The same way it started is how it should end, but just make sure that the notes are not leading you up into something new. By using that 2-5-1 cadence, we've got a gorgeous ending that we can use. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like. Let us know in the comments what annoying song has been stuck in your head. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that little bell to be notified the next time I post.